Reseller Clickbait Podcast, episode 84. What's up, Cory?
Good morning, Ken. Not much. Trying to stay warm over here.
I know it's been absolutely ridiculous out there with the weather, but anyway, hopefully we have a better episode this week than we had last week.
Did we have a bad episode?
Well, no, I guess it really wasn't a bad episode. We were kind of like trying to do a topic talking about how to get your buyers to be your customers. And I guess part of it was supposed to be how to get feedback, or not feedback, but how to get repeat buyers. And
I think we should have switched it up.
We were talking about.
We should have just had an episode of how to get people to watch YouTube videos, because I think that was the problem with the episode. Not that it was bad. We just couldn't get people to watch it.
Well, we ended up watching or changing the thumbnail, which, and in retrospect, looking at it, it was like, I was making it rain at some, geriatric male strip club. Yeah. And, it wasn't the thumbnail was supposed to represent you like in, your tight underwear from the episode, and that I was a repeat buyer. I was a customer, it was several different, images of me with money. Well, I looked like I was making it rain, and when you were up there dancing in your underwear, which
like a geriatric Chippendales going on.
My Google search, and you know how like when you search something on Google and then like all the new ads, like if you're going to look for like a new snowblower or something, then every little ad that comes up, I had to trying to do that thumbnail. I did a search for, man in his underwear, and my Google search has been been interesting.
For all six of you that watched the episode, if you're wondering, that was not me sending a picture to Ken. That was a Google searched photo.
Yeah, exactly. So I don't know. So we swapped out that thumbnail, and we talked a little bit about that with branding of the episodes, and we have a different thumbnail each week. And so we're still trying to figure out this whole YouTube thing and how to get those viewers and how to get, we got plenty of watch hours. We just need the subs, if a goal is to get to the monetization part of it, which would be great to do it, at some point. But we're doing this, just to have a good time and have fun. And
my goal is just to get at least the subscribers to watch. So
yeah, exactly.
We're going to start with small goals here.
And I'm not going to be searching man in his underwear this week. I guarantee it. So anyway, you ever just wake up? I don't know. For some reason, I'm just in a mood this morning. Well, I know. Oh. Well, yeah, that's always that's always a good thing to wake up every morning. But
you did have to wake up and see all the here. Let's see if this helps.
Yeah. Oh, perfect. Oh, my day has just brightened up already. Cory shut his screen off. If you're just listening out there on the Spotify or the all the other platforms that we have, the iTunes and where this podcast is. But yeah, I went to bed last night. I was, pretty good. I had a good day. Got some work done. We'll talk about that a little bit later about some of the work that I was doing. But then this morning, I woke up for no reason and just kind of cantankerous and just
I've been grouchy since Thursday, so I can't help you. I'm not even trying to cheer you up.
You have been getting some weather over there in the Dakotas. Yeah, so much like, I think you were telling me your tractor is stuck in the driveway. Your brand new tractor.
Yeah, it's cold enough that the brand new tractor doesn't even want to play in the snow, which is disappointing.
Oh yeah,
it's a diesel, sure. And I have winter diesel in it, and I have treatment in it, but it just didn't even matter. It started up and it ran fine in the shop, and as soon as I pulled it out and got 2-3 passes in, the windshield hit those fuel lines and everything just gelled up, and it's been out there since Thursday. So I haven't even, of course, my big bullet heater, my portable heater to go throw a tarp over it and thaw out the lines, that thing isn't working. So everything's just too cold to work. It's been a fun week so far, or weekend.
We got a quite a bit of snow. I don't know if I would say quite a bit, but we all know my thoughts on
Yes,
winter.
we do.
I don't like winter. So much so that that was me. That's how I felt all week. Ken complains about winter.
That's how I feel today. That wind is blowing. We have like 40-mile-an-hour gusts today. So all the snow that did fall, which wasn't a lot, is just blowing all over. It's like a whiteout outside. So it's miserable looking.
Yeah, I had woke up the other day and yesterday or Friday morning, and I thought, I think I'm going to go over to the bins today. I haven't been to the Goodwill bins for a little bit and want to start making regular trips over there, but got out into my garage and I still have so much stuff. It's like when I go to the bin, it's like the last thing I need to do is bring in more stuff right now because I have so much out there. And so that's kind of, we got to talking about that over the last few days about how we're treating our inventory. And here at the first of the year is a good time to do an inventory. What do I want to say? Just kind of like not a recap,
reorganization.
Reorganization starting out the first of the year here. Of course, a lot of people do inventory for tax purposes to do taxes and get values of stuff depending on how you keep your records.
I just like to touch base with the things we bought. Sometimes you forget what you bought, and it's cool to see those toys again. Yeah.
And it's the last thing I need to do is go buy more stuff right now. Plus, every time I go to the bins, and I know me, Cory, I know me better than, well, pretty much anybody. Because
I would hope so.
It's me. And because I know that I'm going to go buy this stuff at the bins. I'm going to go spend 20, 30, 40 bucks like every time I go there. And then the stuff just sits in like IKEA bags or boxes or gets piled up on the table and I don't get it listed. So I'm trying to go through my inventory. Not only that, I'm trying to kind of see what's in my store. Now, you were telling me this week that you guys did some reorganization and were finding unlisted items that were in your listed inventory area.
Yeah, we've actually been going through and doing a full inventory. We're trying to do a couple of totes or at least a shelf or something every day. So we're going through all of our inventory, everything as we start chopping away at our death pile, which we've done a lot. We haven't really sourced much since probably November. We haven't even been going sourcing really. So as we go through and list stuff, we're finding room for stuff by doing our inventory and combining totes and we're finding all kinds of stuff that we forgot we had. We're finding stuff that's just miraculously not listed anymore, which I know other people have talked about eBay just randomly delisting stuff sometimes. Yeah. I think we're about a third of the way through. We've got about a little over a dozen items now that we found that are not listed anymore. So, and we found some items that were just very poorly listed.
Yeah, I don't understand that. I don't know. I'm not sure what eBay does with that or what makes it that an item that was listed is just
go away.
No longer there. It's not like it was a Vero or anything like that, nope, that they took down a listing for a particular reason, or that they even let you know. And I don't know if it's one of those things that if an item had been listed for so long and it's just kind of, slides down the list until finally there's nothing. But that's what I've been working at, is trying to go in and doing a lot of ending and relisting, or ending and selling similar is mostly what I'm doing to kind of update that stuff. And I've kind of made my way up into stuff that was listed in November of last year. Now it's, well, and actually it's not even, that's not even the case. It's stuff that I had relisted or ended and sold similar in November. Some of these items have been there
could
for
be really old.
Yeah, I mean, I saw items that since I started, almost 4 years ago,
not to change
that are
the
still
topic,
in the store.
Might take us a little down a side path here, but that's
sure.
Since Christmas time, we've slacked off a little. We were always like $500 a day. That's why we had to list. And we stayed that way for like 6 months and did really good. But since Christmas, we've actually been doing a lot of end and sell similar just to keep up with that goal.
Yeah.
And there's been a very noticeable difference in sales. Like our 90-day dropped pretty dramatically when we stopped doing new listings and just did end and sell similar.
Okay.
Like, we are selling some older items, but the listing to sale rate, the amount of sales we were doing has dropped dramatically. So we're just getting the ball rolling again too.
So it's kind of, I guess that's part of the reason that some of those items are ending and relisting, is because they're either not good. Well, not that they're not good items, but they're not, fast movers or
Not as
whatever.
good.
And you're having to relist them because they didn't sell the first time around or second time around, or in my case, the third or fourth or fifth time around when I'm getting into that, because everybody starts now. You've only been doing this about a year and a half or so. But we all start out picking bad stuff. Well, I wouldn't say start out. I still pick bad
I was gonna
stuff.
say,
I mean,
we're still grabbing some bad stuff. We are,
But,
as we go through our inventory, though, we're finding some that are listed with mistakes. We're finding some with bad pictures. We're finding some we never should have listed. And we have taken some listings down and combined them with other listings. We have taken listings down and just got rid of them. So we're doing kind of an overall inventory cleanup as we go.
Yeah, which is a good thing, I think, for anybody that's been doing this for quite a while or whatever. If you're in this over a year and you've still got that inventory that's when you first listed, really take a look at it. And that's what I've been trying to do. So, okay, here's my story with that. So I've been, really going in and not just doing, for a long time, I've just been going in and ending items that were either ending that day or, whatever, just kind of going through groupings and ending them and just doing a sell similar or relisting them.
So the goal was just to get it relisted for the boost.
And not really paying attention to the items, and that's what I've really been focusing on, is going through each listing, taking small chunks or by day. Oh, I did find out there in November I had it looked like I did like half of my store that I had ended and relisted, because there's a whole bunch of them that are on this certain date. But really looking at those, and I found one. Well, and like you say, the sell-through rate, you are selling some of those older items that you're paying attention to them, but the sales are not as good as that new, fresh listings, which those new, fresh listings are getting stuff that's not stale, that are, new finds that you had. So I found one. Go ahead.
I was just going to say, as we were doing our inventory, it's surprising how many things that we shuffled around and moved to different shelves, and we just changed the SKU number. That's the only thing we changed. And we didn't relist or sell some or anything. We just changed the SKU number where it was because we moved it. And it's surprising how many of those things have sold this week. Just, I mean, some things we saw it and we were like, man, we shouldn't have bought that. That thing's a piece of crap. We'll give it another month and we'll take it off, and then it sells. So I guess tip of the day, move it or shame it. And it
Move
seems
it
to
or
make
lose
it
Oh.
seems to make it sell. So you just got to talk crap about it. It gets out of there.
Well, it's that whole thing last night. Okay, so I still had a bunch of inventory in the house that I've listed recently because I do like my Ken versus 10 show, and so all the stuff that I'm listing out in the garage now, I have to haul in the house in like a tub or something like that to show it on the show, and then it just gets set in the tub in the living room, and I haven't taken it out to put it away in inventory, get it into the proper spot. And so that's one of the things I did last evening after dinner and stuff. And I went out and I cranked up. I was watching Roman Anytime Picker. I love to watch Roman's show on Saturday night. And shout out to Angela, Perfectly Blessed. She's, a supporter of our show and my show and stuff. And I've not watched her content, so it's good to put a face to just a chat. Just the text is usually where I would run across her. So really good show.
I popped in late into that show. I saw everybody was still in there chatting. I didn't type in the chat just because I knew Roman he'd never see it anyway. Like he was he was about a month behind on the chat, so I just popped in and watched probably the last 15, 20 minutes of it.
I think Roman was still reading comments from when he had Meg on last week.
Yeah.
The lilac seller was, he gets a little bit behind. But so I, cranked up the show. I was out there, had the garage all heated up and just putting away inventory that I had, listed on the Ken versus 10. And so I'm getting into tubs and I was like, oh man, it's that whole thing when you were saying, selling these old items that you thought would never sell. And you come across stuff and you're like, it's that whole thing of if you touch it, it'll sell. Like you got something, it's like, oh, and so I opened up this one tub to file some stuff away. And it's like, man, I wish I would get rid of those things because they're like some air conditioner filter thingies. And so they're like kind of longer and bigger and they take up space. And so I had to like move those around and reorganize it. And when last night in the middle of the night, someone from California or someplace out west, anyway, I get the cha-ching or I get an offer. And it was like a decent offer. It wasn't, low ball or whatever. It's like, boom, accept that thing. And so those will ship out on Monday. But that's just a kooky phenomenon.
It is.
Is that a phenomenon?
Ours was that Ray Dunn. We had a Ray Dunn dog bowl that said gulp on it or something. We've had it for at least a year. And we actually made the comment when we picked it up to move it, like, why do we even still have this thing? Put it on that shelf. So we moved it, and when we went to bed that night, it sold overnight for full price.
I don't even know how that happens or what. So I'm going to spend the day today and I'm going to touch every piece of inventory that I have out there and go, man, I wish this would sell. I wish this would sell.
Just duck, goose with one row at a time.
Yeah. Duck, cha-ching. Oh, that's an interesting game. Duck, cha-ching.
I can't say that. That's a tough one to say. Duck, cha-ching. Nope.
Say that. Type that in the comments, 5 times real fast.
I think I could type it.
Duck,
saying
cha-ching.
it's tough. Duck, cha-ching. There it is.
There it is. You got anyway.
Got it.
So one of my stories from doing this week is I had bought an item back in the summer. Well, let me see. Yeah, I think it was maybe early spring or whatever. It was a couple of vintage tennis racket covers.
Okay.
And they were like Yamaha brand or something. I don't know, but they were old ones.
Isn't that a motorcycle?
They weren't.
They make tennis rackets too?
Yeah. Well, apparently they do. I think that's what it was. I'm not even sure. Oh, they already shipped it. I should look it up because everybody's interested in what the item was now. They were
one free set of tennis rackets with every motorcycle purchase.
Yeah. Yeah, they were a lot of Yamaha from Japan. And they said Japan on tennis racket head covers. Anyway, okay, so here's what so in my efforts to go through when I'm ending and relisting stuff, because those have been listed since like early summer, and they probably come back up and I would end, relist or sell similar, and that was it. I didn't really pay attention. Well, I figured out why they haven't sold. Well, I guess maybe because nobody wanted
tennis on their motorcycle.
There's a new Olympic event. You know, they put all kinds of the Olympics. Do you like the Olympics? I love the Olympics.
No.
So we got the 2024. You're not a sports guy, so do you watch the Olympics at all?
I mean, we watch the results. Is about
Okay.
it. It is kind of. We still cheer for America, so we do watch the results. Good. But to sit down and actually watch the sports is physically painful, so we don't do that.
Oh, okay. I love. So we got the 2024 Olympics are coming up from like Paris or whatever, the Summer Olympics this summer. So I'm looking forward to that. I enjoy watching the Olympics and all of the events, except I can't watch the gymnastic events because I'm always afraid that they're going to like do all those flips and come down and like land on their ankle, like on the side, and like bust their feet up. And
now, if they did like Olympic bass fishing or something, I think I could get behind something like that. But
I might even get into
all these
that.
flip and tumble things. I guess it's a relate thing. I can't relate to it. Like if I tried to flip and tumble, I would just break stuff. So
it's just more of a tumble is what you're doing.
Just a splat.
Yeah, I decided. You had said that I'm gonna go fishing more this year. I think
you should.
I didn't go fishing hardly at all when I first started reselling. That was when I was fishing a lot that year, and it was. I would get up in the morning, and one of two things: I would get up in the morning and I would try to get my work done as quick as I could, so that I could go fishing in the afternoon or early evening, and I would do that, or I would get up and I would go fishing early in the morning and then come home and work. There's nothing cooler than just being on the bank, because fishing clears my mind. Because all you're out there is, you're just you're like, am I going to catch a fish? Am I going to catch a fish? Am I going to catch a fish? That's like what you're doing. You're just concentrate on, working that little pocket that you're, flipping into or whatever. And there's nothing better than being standing on a bank fishing and just getting that cha-ching. And it's like, man, I'm making money and I'm fishing. If I could make money off fishing, I would.
Catfishing. We try to fill up a chunk of the freezer with catfish every year. That's what we like to eat.
Okay.
Catfish or walleye. Either one is great, but we do like to catfish. There's just something way more exciting about reeling in a catfish that's 20, 30 pounds. I mean, it just makes the trip,
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It's, any fish. And I think I counted out in the garage, I have 19 different fishing poles, 19 rigs out there. And and I've got like 3 or 4 different fishing bags, like these backpack kind of bags like that hold all the little tubs and stuff. Yeah, stuff like that. And rod holders and all of this stuff. So like if I'm gonna go crappie fishing or like small, bluegill or crappie fishing, something like that, I can grab a bag and I've got a set of poles that are already rigged up and ready to go. If I'm gonna go catfish and I got, a big old bag and I got, the big industrial strength poles. And bass fishing is probably, bass and crappie is probably my favorite. Largemouth bass that do that a lot.
Do you ever catch a big catfish off of a kayak? That's some of the funnest. That is some of the funnest fishing. We used to float the river around here. We'd start about 4 miles upriver, put the kayaks in, and we'd catfish all the way down. And you hook into a decent sized catfish on a kayak, and you just go for a couple mile ride. It's some of the funnest fishing.
it's going to drag you around the lake. No, I've never been out on a kayak. Jill likes to go kayaking. She has a kayak, but currently I don't have a boat. I used to have a fishing boat that I had with one of my buddies. We had bought it together, and it's that whole thing of the two greatest days, with the boat is the day that you buy it and the day that you sell it.
Yep.
But man,
best thing you can have for fishing is a friend with a boat. You don't need your own.
Exactly. Yeah. So my buddy then, years later, he bought a boat and he has it. So we go out. I go out with him, and all I got to do is show up with my tackle, and I love that because we may have just at my house.
Lost the rest of our audience. Did we just do like a 10-minute segment on fishing?
Yes, because everybody loves fishing. No, okay. What was I was talking about my Yamaha tennis racket covers, and so rather than just going in and ending and relisting, I'm really looking at these things. I'm looking at pricing. I'm recomping stuff that has been there for a while to see if I'm really at the current rate. And most of the stuff has either gone down in price, and so I'm pricing it appropriately, or I have found a few things that have went up in price. But the Yamaha tennis racket covers. Turns out that decimals are important, Cory.
they tend to be.
I figured out why these hadn't sold for all this time. Because originally, even though they're, these vintage, really nice tennis racket covers, they were worth about $13.99. And apparently, when I had originally listed them, I forgot the decimal point. So these things haven't got even a peek. They haven't got a sniff, a view, anything.
They just
forever.
weren't that nice, huh?
They were listed for like $1,399. And so as I was going through and looking at the pricing, it's like, oh, well, no wonder nobody's looked at these things. So I went through.
We've priced things really high before just because I didn't really want to sell them. But if they sold, I would be okay at that price. So
yes,
maybe you never know. Somebody could have snatched them up for $1,300.
I saw that in one of your recent shorts or something where you sold some little figures, some little like McDonald's figures or something like that.
My McDonald's figures are all gone.
Because you didn't want to sell them, so you priced them high.
I keep doing that too. The Transformers the Dungeons and Dragons popcorn bucket we sold, and the Voltron we sold. Like, we put them on there and we price them way up high because I want to keep them on the shelf. I don't really want to sell them, but also I have to list them because that's just the rule.
Yeah.
So we list them really high, but they keep selling.
You just can't have nice things, Cory.
I think that may be a strategy too. Buy stuff you don't want to sell and it'll sell.
Or
like stuff you really want to keep. It's going to sell because I don't know why, because Cosmos wants to disappoint me. I don't know what it is.
So I had these things listed at $1,399, and they've been listed since the summer. And that's being a bad reseller, not really paying attention. Number one, when I listed them, that I had the proper price, and how many times those might have been ended and relisted where I didn't pay one bit of attention to it. So I repriced them properly, and I put them at $14.99, and it's like less than a week. That was probably the.
Did you raise it $100?
No, yeah, I put them at $1,499, and they sold. So no, I actually priced them at the $14.99, and
gotcha.
Less than a week. It's probably like 4 days. The things were sold. They're shipped out of here. They're gone. And
that is a steep discount.
It is. It is. So my $1,300 or how many? I don't math. I don't know what the difference.
You get one of those little things that says price was $1,300, now $14.
$14.99. And then I had to pay, promotion fees and stuff on that. Hey, the promotion fees on $14.99 were a whole lot less than they would have been on
considerably
$1,390. Yes. So I got that going for me.
Although if it had sold at that price, it'd have been worth it.
Oh, heck yeah. Oh, I can't even imagine if they would have sold. It'd have been my highest selling item.
We'd have both probably been running through repricing half our store.
Yeah.
Just get rid of all the decimals.
I'd been making, Instagram videos and stuff like Bolo. Go out and look for these
Bolo.
tennis racket. You need to look for these tennis racket covers.
The
They
real
sell
bolo
for,
there is that customer. You need to
Yes.
write his name down and start sending him emails.
So that's some of the stuff that I've been finding is I have also found some items as I'm kind of doing that. Most of mine is the ending relisting and not the inventory, but I have been going through some of the inventory when I'm in there and I'm finding items that for some reason I know were listed. I remember listing them and they're just no longer there. I have no clue why they would not be there. So if anybody has any insight on that, I would love to know why eBay just takes down, again, there's no controversy, there's no Veros, there's no
I don't even think
you're not
eBay has
supposed to
insight
be.
on that.
No, I
don't know
whether
why it
it's-
happens. Just a glitch, or if they just get sick of it, they're like, "This ain't gonna sell."
Yeah,
I
that's
actually
true,
think
but-
one of them, like one of the items we found, we distinctly remember about 4 or 5 months ago, it sold and they canceled the sale. So I don't know if it just didn't relist when we hit cancel and relist. Maybe it just didn't relist fully. Like one of them, I remember that happening on. The rest of them, I know we listed. We remember photographing them and putting them in the tubs. They're just not.
Yeah.
They're just not there anymore. They're just gone.
Hmm.
So I'm not sure.
Yeah, that's a good point. I guess when I do some of that end and relist, or I'd have to go back through my history and see if some of these items were things that why does eBay, you ever get those notifications or whatever from eBay where they're like, don't forget to leave feedback for your buyers, and you go through the list of all the ones and they're all items that somebody had bought and then canceled, or items that somebody had bought and didn't pay for. And it's like, they don't give me the option. I can choose positive and I can leave a thing. It's like, well, no, the person bought the item. They sent me the offer. They sent me the offer. I accepted it. And then they're not, and they don't pay for it. But I don't get an opportunity. Oh, you have a choice between positive feedback or report buyer.
Right.
Well, I'm not going to report them. People have different reasons of why they're maybe not going to pay for something. Or
sometimes it's hard to tell what we're getting for emails from eBay anymore. We get so many emails from eBay, so many notifications from eBay. I mean, when we're listed, like yesterday, we went through to get our $500 in listings, and we did it. I think we did it with like 40 pieces of jewelry or something. We just listed jewelry, and it's costume jewelry, so nothing expensive. But you start getting 40 notification emails from eBay in that day, plus all the sales you made, plus any reviews, anything like that. Like, there's so many emails. We tend to just filter them off and get them out of the inbox, and you go blind to the eBay emails after a while.
Yeah, you do. I recently did that too. I was tired of my box being filled up with eBay, so I went through and did a filter so that it would automatically mark them as read and throw them in a folder, because I don't even know why I keep most of them. I'm not sure what I would need to go back and reference them for, but I don't know. The something you said right there made me think of a point. Just go back. What did you just say?
Want me to say it all
everything that
again?
you just said. Yeah, just say it all again. Wait. Oh, no. I know. I don't remember
Wait,
what it
does
was.
Yamaha also make tennis rackets and motorcycles? Are we going back that far?
No. We're past that. We're past that whole mistake, my $1,300 mistake. One of the things that I've also been doing is I, have my store and I have categories. I, made my own categories in the store. I don't use eBay categories, and that helps me stay organized. It also helps me if I want to run a particular sale in a particular category. Now that's, you could do that if you're using the store categories or the eBay categories too. But for me, I know where everything is, and then in my organization, I know that I have all my sporting goods stuff here. I have all my blah blah blah, whatever the different categories are. But that's when I've also been doing these kind of mass end and relist or end and sell similar things. Is as I end them, I've been putting them back up as in my categories. So
can
all of the item
on those categories, those items, because we don't use those, we use eBay's categories.
Yeah.
On your categories, you still have your items as an eBay category. You just have another layer that's your categories, right?
Yeah. In my store, they are. Yeah, they are store categories. So if somebody were to come to my store on eBay, which there's a link down below in my link tree, if somebody would want to visit my eBay store, hey, how about I'll self-promote there? And so when they're at my storefront, they can look at the categories. Like, let's say they're looking at some shoes or whatever in my category. It would be easy for them to go over and just click on, I have one for men's shoes, I have one for women's shoes, I have one for sporting goods. They could just click on that and boom, it's going to fine tune that right down to.
So it's just an extra layer of organization for you.
Yes, for me, and I think for the buyers and when I'm running sales. And I also kind of use that so that I can keep stuff organized. So as I'm relisting all of this stuff, I am trying to relist it, those same categories at the same time, so that when they come up again for an end and relist, it's not just a hodgepodge of items. It'll be like, oh, these are all men's shoes, or these were all plush that were.
You relist a whole category at once.
Oh yeah, you can do a search when you go to your listings, and you can search by a category. Now, you can search that by the eBay categories. You can search it by the store categories. And there's nothing wrong. I mean, either way that you do it, I would be interested to know if somebody, down in the comments wanted to say, if they have a store, if they don't have a store, are they using store categories? Now, it's something I started that very early on when I was watching other YouTubers.
You started the categories early on?
Yes.
Is that what you mean? Okay.
Yes. Just because I would think if you've been established and have done this for a while, it would be hard to go back and separate stuff into the proper store category, because when you're actually doing your listing, it gets the eBay category. That's what it's actually listed in on eBay. But then there's a part in the drop down that you can click on like a second category, which is your own category, not a second eBay category. Because they do offer that you can put stuff in multiple categories on eBay, but then I think there's a charge for that. I don't know if they still do that, but it was like a 25-cent charge or 50 cents or something like that if you wanted to list your item in a second category. So I do the store categories on my own, and I started that way back pretty much from the very beginning, because watching other YouTubers, and it's like, hey, if you do this and you organize in it and it helps, and it seemed logical to me to do that. I can't even see, like, say somebody with a store of your size, if there would be even an easy way to go and do that.
I'm trying to think of a use case where I would even want to.
Yeah.
I'm not sure it would. I'm not sure it would work for what we're doing, the way we do things. I don't know that we would use it enough to make it beneficial to us. The eBay store categories have always worked great for us, and when we usually organize based off of those store categories or our SKU numbers or something like that. So I think having that extra layer would just complicate our listings, at least for us. When we're we're over 3,400 listings now. Yeah. And growing daily. So I don't know. I'm sure I mean, I like that it's available because if it ever came to the
Yeah.
point where we do need one more layer of organization, it's nice to have it. I'm just trying to think of a use case where it would work for us. I'm not sure it would right now.
Yeah, I guess I'm just trying to think of other scenarios. Like I suppose if you were doing like shoes, I keep bringing up shoes. If you have like men's shoes, and in men's shoes you have categories of there's athletic shoes in the eBay categories. You have athletic shoes. You might have men's dress shoes. You might have casual shoes, that sort of things, and those are all different categories. Mine are, because they're in my store, I have a category called men's shoes. And when I put those in there, all the different types of shoes that are men's shoes are in there. So if I want to go back and just look at that inventory, if I want to run a sale on men's shoes, I am just having to choose that one category. Rather,
We get really geeky for a minute.
Sure.
I can see a use case for it. Like in our old e-commerce business, we used categories for organization like you're talking about, but we used them. Our primary focus with our categories was SEO, so that our products can be found by category. So if we were doing men's shoes, it may be men's leather dress shoes. Like that could be a category. That helps us be found on Google a lot easier. But we were selling the same thing over and over. That category stayed, and the items in it, even after you sold one, you had 100 more. So the category stayed, and so did the items. With these selling, I mean, if you're shooting for a 90-day sell-through rate on eBay, our items are long enough. They're not long tail enough. They don't stay on eBay long enough for us to get any real SEO advantage out of it. So if we did have an item that we had an unlimited supply of that we were going to have for quite some time, I think that could be beneficial from an SEO standpoint.
Yeah, and I don't know that is even that even comes into play. I think it's more organizational for me and for buyers that might come to my store. Which I guess that kind of goes all the way back to what we were trying to talk about last week, is how do I get people to follow my store to be a repeat buyer? And then if people are coming to my store and looking for similar, like, if they find, does he sell also these? It makes it easy for them to find them and not have to just scroll through and keep looking for stuff. And in my inventory, as I'm going through, the way that I store them, I don't have like a SKU system on tubs. I have, things that I know that this is kitchen and glassware, and this is sporting goods, and this is in the differences. I have categories in my things rather. So I'm not going to have in one tub, I'm not going to have a Nerf football and a coffee mug and whatever. It's not, they're everything are like items. It makes it easier for me to find them when I have sold something. And of course, I have a third of your inventory as far as what's listed. You said you have about 3,300. I have right now, because I've been selling it's right around 700 or so listings. Cory left the show right in the middle. Apparently, all of this talk about my inventory is where'd you go?
I don't know what happened. I have no idea what happened.
Just all of a sudden, I was talking to myself. I think, this, when you look at the YouTube algorithm right here, I think that's where the show's going to peak right there. You get that drop off, and then all of a sudden it's like, oh, Jess Ken's on there. Boom, peak. People will be like, finally.
I don't doubt it. I don't doubt it. It's the way it is. Thanks, YouTube. No, I went to swipe to go to a different screen, and it like kicked me completely out of StreamYard. I don't know what I'm not going to touch anything till we're done now. I'm just going to leave it alone.
That's good. I don't even know what I was talking about. Was I talking about the Trash to Cash meetup in Florida? Is that what I was
I bet
talking
you
about?
weren't. Yeah, I think you were talking about
That's
Planes to
probably.
Profit in Omaha. I think
Oh,
that's the one
that's
you were
right.
talking about.
That's coming up. Yeah. No, I just brought that up just because looked like it was a good time at the Trash to
It did.
Cash. I saw. I've jumped in a couple lives that Shane Soda City Flips
Yep.
had. I did see that the Trash to Cash guys were doing some of that stuff too, but that looked like a pretty fun meetup. So a lot of the regular cast of characters down there.
Hope
At the
everybody
thing,
makes
saw
it
some
home
new
safe,
faces, and
traveling
yes,
through this weather.
yes, down there it's a lot nicer than it was. I
It
heard
was
somebody
cold
say
down there
that
too.
that it was like 40, like in the 40s, and I'm thinking
Those
Yeah.
poor guys.
where it's like 15 here, and it's been in the single digits, and well, you were negative actual temperatures.
Yeah, it was
This
negative
week, but-
28 wind chill yesterday. I think it was only like negative 8 or 10 actual temperature, but it was like negative 28 something wind chill.
That's
Today I
no,
have no idea how cold it is with the wind, but the wind is crazy. So,
yeah.
when you walk outside and it actually hurts to breathe, it's too cold. You just go back in. That ain't right.
Yeah. And then, we're going to get, being in Ohio, it's, there's always that joke that, if you don't like the weather in Ohio, just
wait 5
wait a couple of hours. It'll be different because we're expecting like in the 50s by the end of this week, so you go from
Man.
single digits to 50 by the end of the week. So that'll be,
Well, see, that would
looking
help the
forward to that.
tractor start. But now we've tried starting it so much and trying to warm it up and unfreeze those lines out there that the battery's dead as well now. So, and to get to the battery on this new tractor, I have to take part of the inside of the cab apart. So Monday or Tuesday is going to be an interesting day for us, just getting that all back. Apparently, what the tractor needs is a Ken SSKPromo Hot Pocket to put it in.
yes.
Keep it nice and warm.
Yes, you need that. You need lots of layers, heated
It
on
needs a
both
hoodie.
sides. It does. Have you considered like maybe calling the dealership and telling them to bring their trailer and come pick this thing up? You've only had it, like a couple of months?
Well,
And you just got to-
we've had it. I think we've had it about 4 months, 5 months, maybe tops.
Okay.
We just haven't been able to use it, but
Yeah.
no, this is
that's-
one of those. I mean, it's not like a big John Deere tractor or anything. It's one of those
Yeah.
small yard tractors. So they pretty much give you the taillight warranty. As soon as they can't see your taillights, it's out of warranty. It's one of those things.
Okay.
So, and I know
Yeah,
what's wrong with it. It's just Mother Nature's kicking its butt. It's
Oh yeah. It's not fit for man or beast or tractor out
No.
there.
And
I
I
don't
know
know.
how to prevent it from happening again. I just got to get it started enough to get it back in the shop because I know I look a little bit rugged and tough sometimes, but I ain't working in 20 below weather in wind chill
But-
to fix a tractor. It's going to stay there till it warms up a little.
You're actually just a delicate flower. And
Yes,
you're just
I'm
wilting out there.
just a big teddy bear.
So, anyway, what else? Anything else going on, Corey? My mood still isn't any better. I'm not sure why. Here, I thought I'd get on here. I'd talk to my buddy Corey for a while. That'd kind of brighten up my mood. No, you did nothing for me. You
Nope.
did nothing for me today.
Did nothing for
And
it.
oh, but it's almost breakfast time. I enjoy
That would
good
cheer me up.
hot
biscuits
breakfast
and
on.
gravy.
I had to run the snowblower. We've talked about this topic before. I had to run the snowblower early in the week, but it's always cool because my folks have a pretty good sized driveway. And
Did you leave yours out in the middle of the driveway too?
no, mine ran the whole time. But it's just a smaller snowblower. I used to have a bigger, like a big Troy built, like with and it was, a man size. It was a man size snowblower. And then my pop decided, it was his, but he decided, he couldn't really handle that big snowblower, even though he doesn't do any of the snowblowing. So we sold that one, and he got another one, like a smaller John Deere, where the whatever
More dainty.
was. Yeah, it's not as wide as the other one. It's about half again as wide as the other one, and it's lower, and so I have to kind of be stooped over, half the time while I'm working it, and it's not as powerful, but then they have a good size driveway. But the bonus part is my mother made cocoa wheats. I was out in the cold doing their driveway, and then I do a path,
like
from my house to their house. It does.
Like,
oh wait,
little SSK
sponsor.
promo coming in with a scarf, cold and sniffly. Get some cocoa wheat.
Shaking off the snow. And
didn't they do a commercial like that?
Oh, I'm sure they did. Or one of those ones where, the kid comes in and I think that was Campbell's Soup, where the kid comes in as like an actual snowman coming into the house.
Yes.
But he gets the chicken noodle soup and it melts him down, gets all that warm. That's how I feel when I have
from the Christmas Story coming in.
Yeah, with his coat on, you can't even move or whatever.
His fogged up glasses.
The cocoa wheats is kind of like an Ovaltine, isn't it? Or no, Ovaltine, that's a drink.
Well,
right?
So is cocoa wheats if you prepare it incorrectly.
Exactly. It's but yeah, so I did get a big bowl of cocoa wheats out of the deal. That's what I got. I got to be out in the cold for an hour and a half or 2 hours doing all the shoveling and the snow blowing but
hopefully you're staying bundled up. I'll get mine cleared eventually, but we're getting all the drifts now because this wind has picked up. I think tomorrow the wind's supposed to die down. We'll be able to get back in the driveway, get the tractor fixed, and after we pack. Tomorrow's always a busy day. We record both our videos for the week, and we pack and get to the post office. So maybe Tuesday we'll get the tractor fixed.
Tuesday. Okay. Yeah,
Tuesday
Mondays are rough. Tomorrow's my nephew's birthday, or not tomorrow, today. When this comes out, it's today. So happy birthday to
you said
my
that
nephew
like
Talon.
It was a bad thing. Like tomorrow's rough. It's my nephew's birthday.
Your
poor nephew.
Yeah, I was concurring with your sentiments about Mondays being rough with all the shipping, all the extra packages, you do all your filming, and have to get into town in this weather and.
Whatever. Me and your nephew both know what you meant.
So anyway, got a birthday party to look forward to. It's usually some good food, some good desserts, and so maybe that'll brighten my mood. Maybe that'll. I just have to wait till tomorrow. I'm just probably I'm gonna do some work today out in the garage, but I think probably just gonna sit in the house and watch football today, football playoffs, and
that's still going on.
See how that goes. Oh yeah, we got the divisional rounds or whatever they are right now. So
how's the Brownies doing?
They lost.
The Browns.
Yeah, the Browns. They lost last week.
The Brownies is like Girl Scouts, right? They sell cookies.
And so Girl Scout cookies are out. They got a new cookie this year called like the Toast Yay. A Toast Yay cookie. It's supposed to be like a French toast. I love French. I had French toast yesterday. My mother made French toast. You see that? I go over to my folks a lot and have, breakfast and stuff.
Now you're making me hungry.
I'm going to try these new.
Toast
what's your
Yay
favorite?
Sounds like Kanye's cookie.
Oh, we got to come back to that. Everybody in the comments, if you're here this long, put down your favorite Girl Scout cookie. Next week on the show, we're going to talk about Girl Scout cookies. And
there's really only one progression of order of Girl Scout cookies.
Oh, well, don't spoil it. Don't spoil it, Cory.
No, okay.
There's a teaser for next week's show. Thin Mints in Cory's eyes, and he's already off. I can tell you right from the beginning of the list, he's already off. He's not correct. And
I'm off in a lot of ways, but I am 100% correct on this here.
Well,
when it comes to I know my cookies.
Well, we did the Christmas cookie, the top Christmas cookies, and we had the little, graphic and stuff, and we were pretty good. So, hey, there we go. Something to look forward to on the show next week. We're going to be doing the Girl Scout cookie, because I think they're starting to sell. At least Joe asked me, hey, do you want somebody's already selling Girl Scout cookies. She asked me if I wanted any. So
I think it boils down to this: we're not very good at doing this reselling content podcast.
yes,
So we're going to switch to cookies.
We're gonna
just going the cookie route.
Every episode is about cookies from here on out.
Next week is Girl Scout cookies.
Yeah, we did Christmas. We're going to do Girl Scout cookies. And then, man, this topic, the sky's the limit from there, I think.
You never know where this could go.
I don't know. Anyway,
there's
going to
Sam
do
Club
it.
cookies. There's Walmart cookies. There's all kinds of cookies. We could go all kinds of directions.
If I say the Vortman Cookie Hut, do you know what I'm talking about? They used to have
but if it has cookie in the title, I'm intrigued.
It has cookies. Well, maybe we'll talk about that. I'm going to write that in my notes. The Vortman Cookie Hut.
I've even heard of people reselling Oreos. These could be overlapping topics.
They could.
People have resold Girl Scout cookies.
Man, you want us to just start this episode over and just talk about cookies rather than all that other junk that we talked about?
We'll just scrap it.
Yeah. Well, we've already got it in, so maybe we'll keep this one and we'll do better next week. So, Cory, final thoughts?
No, now I'm hungry. I got to go eat. So,
all right. Everybody,
see you next week.
Stay safe out there, and we will catch you on next week's episode of Reseller Clickbait Podcast.